took a 3-week break, and I hope y'all still with me, but you see I'm here, barefaced, happy, okay, ready to give y'all my May wrap up. Oh my goodness. Okay, so y'all, I ain't even put no lip gloss on. Wow. Listen, we just doing the thing today because my spirit was like, you might want to go ahead and do your wrap up. And I was like, oh man, you got to do your wrap up. But I was like, I don't really feel like, no makeup. Why would I get on here and look like this? Okay, it's fine. Actually, there's nothing wrong with me being on here without no makeup. It's all good. How are y'all? Y'all, May was a month, wasn't it? May was really, it was really monthing up here in New York, y'all. Like, no, for real. It was like, what's happening? What's happening? So much happened. Like, I read 20 books. Y'all know we're gonna get into the stats. My mama came to see me. The Little Mermaid came out. Like, what up? I mean, it's been so much. I don't know. Am I eating on camera? Yes. I need a snack. Have y'all tried the kettle corn in the bag from Trader Joe's? You stop that right now. You gonna get you some. My mom and me went to Trader Joe's. I feel like I haven't shopped at Trader Joe's like since I lived in Harlem. And I was like over, oh my God, I left Harlem in like 2018, 2019. It's been years. I didn't shop at Trader Joe's this whole time because it's not one by my house in Brooklyn. Okay? So I'm not lugging groceries on the New York City subway. But I went when mine was here and they got some really good snacks. They got okra in a bag, like chips. Oh, so good. They got kettle corn. Okay, I'm getting off topic. We are here, y'all, for my May wrap up. Let's get into it. Y'all know I start my wrap up videos by talking about my statistics for the month because I'm a data girl. I like data. I want to know, how did I do it? What was I reading? What was all the things. Okay, y'all. Let's see. I read 20 books in the month of May. Yay me. Or not really. That's fine. Whatever you read is your thing, and I support everybody. So, and y'all know I want y'all to put how many books down below y'all read. And of course, please comment if you have read any of the books on this list. I feel like I was reading all over the place. Is that toilet paper? Okay, I'm back. Just a little moving a little thing here and there. Okay, so I read 20 books in the month of May. Woo! 4,256 pages in total. What in the world? Oh my God. I just want to sit with that for a minute. I just want to sit with that. Y'all, we went to the Volclico Polo Classic yesterday in New York. Vlog is coming. And I'm gonna drink out this little glass until the dogs come home, because why not? It's cute. Got my water in here, it's cute. Okay. I just had to catch my breath, a little run. Took a lot out of me. Okay, for real. So 20 books, 4,256 pages. Of course, emotional was like my major mood for the month. But we have some lighthearted, some adventurous, reflective, mysterious, and a little bit of dark. So we're here for the diversity in the mood, okay? Pace, 100% medium. I don't know why. I don't know why that was the pace, but all the books that I read, I consider them mediumly paced, which was, I guess, it's cool. I have appreciation for fast-paced books. Get me in, get me out. Slow-paced books, easiest way to end up DNF'd. Get that. Okay. Page number. Let's see. So 74% was less than 300 pages, which, I mean, if you read a lot of like romance novels, like on Kindle Unlimited and things like that, most of them are like 250 pages or less, or 300 pages or less. So this reads, because what, yeah, 14 of the 20 books that I read were probably like romance, short little novels. 21%, 300 to 499 pages. Okay. I like this for me. I like this. And 5% was 500 plus pages. Y'all, I have not read a 500 plus page book in years. Okay? Because I don't know. Long books for me, it takes me days to complete them. If the story's not super engaging, I like tap out. I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll come back to it. If a book is 450 pages, I might tap out. I might just lose interest and be like, I don't want to read that. But I finished it, and we're gonna talk about the 500 plus page book that I read a little bit, because y'all know I don't like to keep y'all here too long, and I'm already 5 minutes in with my foolishness. Y'all. Oh, my ADHD is winning today. Woo! Ooh, my ADHD is really kicking my butt today. I'm focused. Okay. I read no nonfiction books in the month of May. None, Felicia? Damn. Okay, we got to change that in the month of June. I normally like to offset all of my fiction books with at least a couple nonfiction books. Normally around some social commentary or historical like findings or something. Something has to be nonfiction. I was really just kicking it in the month of May, boy. All right, so 8 books were romance, 3 books were fantasy, 2 books were young adult, 2 were historical, 2 were contemporary, 1 was LGBTQ plus, LGBTQIA plus. Okay, we're gonna get it right. Horror was 1, comic was 1. I read a comic last month. Okay. Now, I said I was going to read a whole bunch of physical books. I just want y'all to know 4 of them are still sitting right here. Right here. They're right here. I'm not going to show it to you, but they're right here. 25% print was read. 25 of my physical books that I physically have purchased and that arrived at my home were read. 75% were digital. And 2 didn't have a format, but they were most likely digital. If I look at them, they were probably digital. But still, this is crazy. And yeah, my average rating was 4.18. Love that for me. It was a good month. I had 1 book that was a 3. I had 12 that were 4s, 5 that was 4.5. I even had 2 5-star reads in the month of May. And contrary to the book talk dialogue with that author that we just canceled last week, I think 4 stars is great. A 4-star book is what I'm going to talk about. A 4-star book is something that I'm definitely going to recommend that other people read. 5 stars just have to be like, oh, amazing. They have to be like, it has to be an amazing book to get 5 stars. And if you can't handle the heat, get out the kitchen. You shouldn't be in reader spaces anyway. Like, why are you over here listening to what we talking about? Go find something else to do. I don't know. But as readers, we should be able to say, I like it, or I don't, or this wasn't for me, or whatever. Like, I should be able to say what I want. Because once you put it out there in the public space, I could talk about it. Oh, what? Duh. Okay. I also had 1 DNF this month. I did. I started a book and I was like, this dialogue, these words are wording, it's wordy. No. If this is one of my icks for books that I'm reading, and then I'm going to continue on because we're already at 9 minutes. If the writing in the book has to say something like, hey, yo, what up, shorty? Because I'm Southern, but I'm trying to be New York-esque. That was ick. Felicia, who are you? And then it follows up as he stands in front of the bodega in his Timberlands. I'm like, what? There are so many more creative ways that you could have let me know that this person was from New York. by using, of course, colloquial dialects, but also not using stereotypical bodega and Timberland. Like, for real, that's what we doing? I would DNF that book so fast, your head would spin. Who's reading this? Ugh. And I just want to say the book that I'm talking about on Goodreads has like a 4.75 rating. And I'm like, how? Who read this? Like, my homegirl in our book club was like, yo, you said you was going to read this. I started reading it. And I was like, Felicia's not finishing this. And I'm not. Wrap it up. There are other books that could be read, honey. I will DNF that mug in a minute and be like, God bless to everyone. Moving on. Okay. Let's get into these books that I read. It's going to be super quick, super easy. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to hit them. We're going to get in. We're going to get out. Hopefully, let's see if I can do it in 20 minutes. I'm such a nut. Okay, let's see. Books I read in the month of May. Yes, I'm using my Storygraph app. Y'all know how I feel about Storygraph. And it's just because it's easy. You go up, you click May, and it just comes up. Super easy. I love it. Okay. In the month of May, I started out finishing up the Page Turning Homies book club, Pick Lone Women by Victor LaVelle. This book was recommended to me by Shelby from Shelby in the Bookstore, Shelby in the Book Club. Baby, this book was good. And listen, I'm not a horror girl. I'm not I don't want to be scared. I don't like no mystery. I don't like those things. But this book was like so interesting. I don't know. So it follows this homesteader who we open the book and she's basically burning her family up in the house. It's the first page. So I'm not telling you anything that you couldn't get from the back of the book. And she goes on this kind of adventure by herself to restart her life in another city. We don't know if she's a murderer. She also has this like steamer truck, and I'm getting like steampunk vibes. Like it's probably like brown with like silver and brass mixed, you know what I'm saying? And we don't know what's in it, but we know when it gets open, people start dying. Yeah, that book was good. I love the words. I love the language, the writing. Like, oh, it was so good. I gave it 4.5 stars. I have never read a Victor LaVelle book, but now every time he come out with something, I'm gonna have to read it. Thank you, Shelby. Now I got somebody else I gotta follow and stalk. This is wild. But no, amazing book recommendation. Thank you, Shelby, and the whole book club liked the book, so it was amazing. The next book that I read was Match My Nasty Press Record by India Norfleet. I gave it a 4-star because sometimes we just need to read books that's nasty for the sake of being nasty. Imagine you see your neighbor. Okay, you meet him in a pair of gray sweatpants. Okay, and you all embark on a no-holds-barred sexual relationship, and y'all like to record yourselves. Okay, read this one at your own risk, but I gave it 4 stars. It was good. Teathered Love by Kimberly Brown. I really like this book. Elena had been through a lot. And Malachi was what she needed, honey. Okay. And I liked it because it was about 2 Black people on very different paths in life. So she became a mother because her friend passes away, and her friend basically in her will was like, I want my daughter to be raised by my friend and her husband because they can't have children. And so she's raising this little girl, and her husband passes away. So she's been raising her as a single mother, and all of this is in the description, so I'm not blowing up the spot. The little girl tries to find her birth father. And Elena and Malachi's the birth father. Y'all ain't read nothing like that, okay? And I like it because it's Black excellence, okay? They're both smart. She's like a surgeon, and he's like a professor. And the little girl takes like her mommy's black card. Get into it. It's coin. Yeah. Yeah, it's coin. She flying across the world to go see her daddy. Girl, pick the book up. Go read the book. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was so good. Okay, next I read For Her Protection, which is the Night Brothers series, book number 3 by Dria Anderson. I gave it 4.4 stars. 4.0 stars. I'm such a nut. 4 stars. I Listen, Dria Anderson is a paranormal romance writer, and her characters are Black. What else needs to be said? I read 2 more, so I read 3 total of her books this month. They're quick, they're easy, they're like 150 pages or less, and we love the art of a 150-page book, okay? Paranormal Black romance, sign me up. I don't have to tell y'all too much, okay? I like what I like. Go read the book. The next 2 were both by Dria Anderson as well. The Friendship Contract, which is a friends to lover paranormal romance, and then The Alpha's Affair, which is the Hamilton Brothers book 2, is also a paranormal romance. The first one, the brother, he knows that his best friend is his fated mate, but she hasn't come into her powers yet. And he's like, well, we're gonna have to get married, or I'm gonna have to marry somebody else and I want to marry them. So basically he lies. Drama ensues. You know what I'm saying? Happily ever after. It's great. It's so good. So good. The Alpha's Affair, he is the alpha bear in his like pack, whatever bears are called, and his fated mate is a witch. And so it's a forbidden love affair, and it's also a paranormal romance, and it's also one that I think you should go read. Listen, y'all be saying that y'all don't know where the books is at. I'm giving you the books, okay? She's giving you the things, okay? Go read the book. Okay. Next, I read Heyy Y'all by Gray Huffington. It was only 46 pages. And y'all, if you have not read this series by Gray Huffington, this is not the book to start with. So if you haven't read The Eisenberg Effect, start there, work your way to Halo. That's what I got for you. I gave it 4 stars. It was great. Okay, so this next author contacted me on Instagram. I was like, hey, do you read these types of books? And I'm like, I love Black witches. I go and I download it on Kindle Unlimited. Y'all, why it's a comic? But get into it. It's a comic about Black witches, like 3 sisters who live in this house with their grandmother, and they own a magical tailoring shop, and it's like a comedy of errors. It was so funny and so good. I'm so happy that this author reached out to me, and I really hope that he got all of my messages, because I was like, hey, I put it on my TikTok, hey, I put it on my Instagram, because I'm like, we're always saying like, I don't know where the Black comics are, I don't know what the Black romances are. Well, I'm giving you the things. Let's check it out. Witchcrafters by Leonard Yarbrough. I gave it 4 stars. It was so funny. Like, you need a little comedy, you need a little pick-me-up. These witches are hilarious. And it's like adult comedy. It's not like kid comedy. So I would say if you're looking for a comic, or if you love Black witches, pick this one up. Okay, so next I read a 2-part series by Franny J. She was a new to me author. Captured by a Billionaire, Kingpin 1 and 2. I gave the series a 3.5 stars. Y'all know how I am. I love the art of the 150-page novel. Every series don't have to be 2 parts. We could have done this. We could have wrapped it up in 1 book, because when I got to the second one, I was like, why am I here? The first one I gave 4 stars. The second one I gave it 3. So do with that what you must. But you can kind of catch it from the title, Captured by a Billionaire, Kingpin. Y'all, the book was the first one was so good. I wish we would have wrapped it up in 2, but we're moving on. Okay. The next book I read was one that literally, y'all got to pick this up for all of the young people in your life, or if you're trying to like read for your inner child, this one would be amazing. And I'm speeding through these so I could try to be as close to 20 minutes as possible. We're moving. Okay, so When the Vibe is Right by Sarah Doss was an arc that I received on NetGalley, and it takes place in Trinidad during carnival season. These 4 high school students, where we meet them on like a project for school, and the main character is like, she's a troubled girl. Like, she has lost both of her parents. She lives with her uncle, who is like this famed mask designer, so he creates carnival costumes, but she feels like he's sticking to the old way which she actually really appreciates and she really champions, but she wants them to kind of be as popular and continue the notoriety of their band, their mass band, based off of new and exciting things, not just off the name that her uncle has created, which I think is fair. But she falls for the guy, or no, she doesn't fall for him. It's actually like enemies to lovers. Oh, and it's so good. And if you know nothing about Trinidad Carnival, which is a place where I feel like everyone should go at least once in life because we should all experience places of freedom, this book is like a great introduction. It can kind of give you a little bit of the background and kind of give you a feel for like what it feels like to be in Trinidad during Carnival. I gave it 4 stars. It was great. It was great. Woo! Okay. The next book that I read was Hostile Takeover, Blackwood Billions, the first one in the series by Christina C. Jones. It was 264 pages. And let me tell y'all something. This was the book that my book club actually read for the month of May. So Lone Women was our book from April that we didn't talk about until May. But Hostile Takeover was the book we read for the month of May. And let me just tell you this. It was good. It was good. All I could talk about was the male main character, Orion, and the fact that he was this black man with, of course, he had money and access, cool, but it was the way that he approached Nalani that I was most like intrigued by. He was very like, listen, I bought this company, but we got to get married, and I'll give you your company back, y'all. So it's a marriage of convenience. It's drama. Oh, it's also a grocery store. It got me looking around for the owner of the grocery store whenever I go into the Target. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I read a lot of Christina C. Jones a few years ago, and then I kind of like backed off. This is kind of like my reintroduction back into her works because I really haven't been reading a lot by her. The TikTok girlies love her, which I totally get. And from the books that I read a few years ago, I loved her too. But I'm happy to be back. I'm back. So if you have not read a Christina C. Jones novel, she has an entire, y'all, she has a whole world, okay, that you can read. Oh, I can't even put my words together because she has a very like wide range of books and topics and different romances, and here for it. So the next book that I read was Stockley's Reloaded, Kross's Kids, which is a continuation of the Stockley family series. So here's the thing. Before this book are 11 books. There are 11 of these books. And I put them in the urban romance genre. I put them there. I don't know if that's where they're supposed to be, but that's where I put them. But for good reason, okay? For good reason. But here's the thing. I love an author who can build a cast that I love and I want to follow. Because when I got to Stockley's Reloaded, we're 12 books in. So we locked in. Ain't no switching up, okay? And this was only a novella. It was 62 pages. But the next day, Unique popped up. Unique, okay, that's the author's name, by the way. I don't know if I said that. She popped up with Stockley's Reloaded, Priest Kids, book number 13. And I'm in her inbox like this. Like I know her. I don't know her. Me in the inbox. Because I'm like, I like a good novella. But I also like these characters, and I would really like for this to be a little bit longer. Y'all, she responded. She said in September, we're getting a full novel. We're getting a novel. So I'll be looking out for that. But this would be a great time to go back and read the Stockley family because, like I said, books 1 through 12, chef's kiss. Every book is a 4 to 5 star. Like, nothing below that. And y'all know that means it was good. It was good. Oh no, so I gave one of them a 5. I gave Stockley Reloaded Priest Kids. So the second one, I gave that a 5. I sure did. I gave both of these 5s. The novellas, sure did. Yes. Okay, moving on because gotta keep this thing moving. All right. Daughter of the Moon Goddess was the next book that I read by Sue Lynn Tan. And this was the book that was over 500 pages. It was a 512-page novel. And I picked this up without even thinking about the fact that May is Asian American and Pacific Islander month. And so for me to read this book that, you know, during May, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so aligned. Like, because I like to support everyone. So I didn't even like go out and like try to make it a thing. I just did it naturally. And this was one of the best books I've read all year. I gave it 4.5 stars. It got the 4.5 stars because I am not committed to 500 pages. This book was epic, but intimate at the same time. We follow the daughter of the moon goddess because her mother has hidden her away on the moon. And the celestial king and queen come and they're like, there's an energy trace of magic here that is not supposed to be here. So she has to flee, which is like, oh, and it sends her on this journey. She ends up in the celestial kingdom in the palace with the celestial king and queen's son. He is having a competition amongst like courtiers and courtesans or whatever to have like a classmate with him to do like all of his like learning. He picks the moon goddess's daughter and ends up falling in love with her. But she becomes like the best archer and like they go on like all of these magical adventures. But when I'm actually not supposed to be giving you all these details because this is how easy it is for me to talk about this book because I love this so much. Again, it was the most like adventurous but ceremonial, reverent, like just reading it was like a beautiful dream that you got to go back to every time you picked it up. So good. 4.5 stars. Daughter of the Moon Goddess. And it's the first book. So there's another book that I have to read. Just don't know if I'm committed to 500 pages. I don't think I'm there yet. Okay, so y'all, the next book that I read, because I did read 20 books and we're still going, the next book I read was Ready for More. The next book that I read was Ready for War by Mel Du, and this was my first time reading this author. And let me say it like this. Have you ever been reading a book and the author writes something so unhinged, so ridiculous, that you have like a visceral bodily response to what you just read? Y'all, I'm pretty sure whoever was on the train with me that morning probably thought I was a crazy person because I'm reading and the guy's name is War. The female main character, her name is Blossom, but they call her P, like P Blossom. And what he does to her in this scene is so unhinged. I was like, yo. And I'm sure everybody on the train was like, because I literally screamed out loud. I was like, yo. Who? You thought of this? And you put this in this book? Is men out here like this? He's probably a Scorpio. Yeah, because I had a Scorpio this one time and he was unhinged, but I liked it. He was crazy, but I was with it. Sometimes crazy can be sexy. Sometimes, but only them Scorpios. In my head, War was a Scorpio. So overall, y'all, the book was amazing. But I don't want to actually talk about the what happens in the book because I don't want to give this one scene away because it was so good. Go read Ready for War by Mel Du. Okay. The next book that I read was an art that I received from an author that I am truly a fan of. I post her all the time because it's great. This was a continuation of the Hell Knight Academy series by Dria Wells. Please don't kill me, girl. But it's called Unbroken and it is book number 3. And it was actually my favorite in the series. It really was, because I was just like, yo, Dria, you done took us through it. Okay, so we meet what is her name and why am I blanking in this second? Okay, so we meet Micah. You know how the synopsis is not supposed to give away major parts of the book? I'm really trying not to do that because the last book left out on a cliffhanger, and so I don't want to give away too much, but I will say that this book was my favorite in the series. We meet Micah, all of her tethered mates, her fated mates, in a war for humanity that we didn't really know was a war for humanity until this book, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. So if you have not read Hell Knight Academy book 1 and book 2, now would be the time. I say this a lot. Now would be the time to go back and read those books, because for me to be able to talk to you about book number 3, you would have to go back and read the other 2. So if you like paranormal romance, if you like an angelic fight between good and evil, light and dark, heaven and hell, this will be great for you. And what are you doing? Because I told y'all last month to go and read, or a few months ago to go and read the second one. I did. I told y'all, because I am really invested in this series and this author. Every book that she writes, I'm like, where is it? Want to read it right now. That's how good her writing is. Like, I really bangs with her. So again, go read the Hell Knight Academy series by Dria Wells, book 1 and book 2, and then you can come and read Unbroken, book number 3. Okay. The next book I read was The Little Mermaid Against the Tide by J.L. And I literally read it the night before I went to go see The Little Mermaid. And this book is a prequel for the new movie. So this book was commissioned by Disney to this author to kind of take us back into the world of like King Triton and all of his daughters. In the original cartoon version of The Little Mermaid, we saw her sisters on their little clams for like all of 3 seconds in the beginning of the movie, never to be heard from again. I don't remember any of them. I don't remember what seas they were, the patron over. I don't remember nothing. I just remember Ariel wasn't in her clam when it opened. That's what I do remember. And so this story starts with Ariel's ceremony to become the protector of the sea that she's going to be kind of the patron over. But it is a whodunit under the sea. Okay, because someone has kidnapped one of her sisters, and her father is so blinded and kind of narrow-minded in a way as to how he thinks his kingdom is flourishing, and it ain't. Okay, that he's mean to the sea creatures, and they have all these grievances. But Ariel is the only one who's really paying attention and looking at the small details and figuring out what happened to her sister. And y'all, it is a whodunit under the sea. I'm telling you, I gave it 4.5 stars. It is for the little fry in all of us, or the little fries in our lives, as well as the little fry inside of us. Like, I found it so interesting, and y'all know I love to overindulge my inner child. This book was one of those moments. And I thought it was so good. So if you enjoy seeing Hallie on screen as Little Mermaid, I would say actually go read this book. It was super good. Okay, only 2 more books, y'all. So the second to last book that I read was also an arc that I received on NetGalley from Adriana Herrera. And it is An Island Princess Starts a Scandal, Honey. And it is a sapphic romance, and it's a historical sapphic romance. Y'all, so the main character tricks her fiance into sending her to Paris to get a true soulmate, or like, get outfitted for what all it entails to be a wife of a dignitary in her country. So she's going to need dresses, she's going to need undergarments, she's going to need proper sleepwear and all these things. So she convinces her fiance to send her to Paris for like 3 months. But y'all, she's really going with a plan of bacchanalia. Okay, she's heard that in Paris, what happens in Paris stays in Paris. So she goes there because she knows that she has an interest in women sexually. She goes there because she knows she can have her a good time, and what happens in Paris stays in Paris. Y'all, it was so good. It's so messy. It's messy. An Island Princess Starts a Scandal by Adriana Herrera. 4.5 stars. Go read it. So good. It's so hard to say goodbye. Like, I'm so sad about this. Okay? Because Monica Walters released the B. Wrote family book number 14, Hard to Love. And y'all, we 14 books in. We locked in. Ain't no switching up. And Monica's like, this the last one in the series. This one was good. It was not my favorite out of the series. I'm probably going to do a wrap up of the whole series. But I really liked Dana Lee and Rondo. Rondo was one of my fave guys in the series. Like, the story as a whole wasn't my favorite, but he had a little something to him that I kind of liked. Well, also, his character was from Lafayette. Monica did a great job of like writing out the vernacular, like inflections and the differences in how people from that part of Louisiana talk. Okay, because if you know anything about Lafayette, Louisiana, they have a very distinct way of talking. They have they have their own food, they have their own way of cooking. Like, it is a very like specific part of Louisiana that's very different from Southern Louisiana, and it's also very different from Northern Louisiana. Okay, my family is from Slidell, which is like Southern Louisiana, like very close to New Orleans. And then I went to school in Northern Louisiana in Natchitoches, like up by Shreveport. But that middle band, that Opelousas Lafayette band, she did some research. She did, because Rondo was an Omega and he was from Lafayette. I was smitten. I was like, oh my gosh. My mama and my family is going to be like, why would you get on here and talk like this? But that is what I really liked. I liked Monica's attention to detail and clearly her research. I don't know her background or where she's from, but knowing people from that area and how they talk. My little cousin, God rest his soul, he lived in Lafayette. So I was like, oh my goodness, this reminds me so much of my cousin. Not in a weird way, but just thinking of nuanced things about him. I was like, oh my goodness, she did such a good job to bring his character to life. I was really appreciative. There was even some representation of Latinx sororities and fraternities. Oh, I'm a sorority girl. I loved it. So there were little things about this book that I really loved. Overall, it was not my favorite, but it was a very good book. It was a great way to close out my month by finishing this 14-book series. Shout out to Monica. And that's my wrap up, okay? I read 20 books. I just took y'all through them in 35 minutes. Hopefully, we'll see what I cut out, what I keep. But as always, thank you so much for watching my video. I'm so happy to have you guys hanging out with me and talking about books, because I don't know, y'all. And this is going to kind of be a theme over the summer for me, but people who say like, I can't find Black books to read, you ain't looking. You ain't looking in the right place. I have never not felt like I couldn't find Black books to read. And on this page here, we're going to read majority books by Black authors. Now, there will always be representation for other minorities in this country, because I feel like what's done to one group could happen to us all. And so I'm going to support everybody. But we will mainly read Black books in different genres by Black authors. Because why not? That was a tangent. I'm sorry. Let me hop off my little soapbox and go back to saying thank you for watching this video and making it to this far in the video. If you are still here, please drop a stack of books below. Let me know if any of these books were ones you've heard of, ones you might be now interested in because you heard about them here. Or if you read any of these, tell me which ones were your favorite and let's talk about it in the comments. I am going through and check all of my videos just to make sure I respond to everyone, because I think that that's important. You rocking with me, I rock with you. And yeah, until next time, thank you so much, and like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.